What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and it's spooky season. Boo! Haha, I got you. This got a re-release in theaters. It's the 30th anniversary of Casper. Did you know that? I did, because I love this movie. Just gonna throw that out there right away. This is obviously a pro Casper review. I lean on the side of Casper. Grew up with Casper. Love Casper. I would consider Casper to be a desert island movie for me. I would take this with me. I've seen it like numerous amounts of times. I love the fact that we now have audio description for it. I think it's deluxe Laura Post. I didn't stay to the end. I'm sorry. I was pretty just solid on the fact that I recognize this voice, and it's possible it could be a different company. Pretty certain it's going to be deluxe, but that's a guess. And directed by Brad Silberling, produced by Steven Spielberg, score by James Horner. I love the music here. I do. I've always enjoyed the music of Casper. It's based on the Harvey comics. This stars Christina Ricci, Bill Pullman, Kathy Moriarty, Eric Idle. Has a nice little debut for Devon Sawa, who plays live action Casper for that hot second that he's alive. Man, he gets a. Why couldn't he act till midnight? Like, I know we wouldn't have had the cool like little sequence, you know, with the song, that, you know, and he comes down the stairs, and then they're like, "Can I keep you?" Like that whole thing. That whole thing would have was like perfectly timed, but it also feels like he got about like 5 minutes as a human. So, and then funnily enough, and I recognize the voice, and I don't, I would not have in 1995 because he hadn't done Everybody Loves Raymond yet. I wouldn't have picked up on it. But now you rewatch it and you go, that's Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett is in this. This dude has been doing like nonstop work. It absolutely is Brad Garrett in a pre Everybody Loves Raymond world, voicing Fatso, one of the three uncles. Fatso, Stinky, and Stretch are the three uncles. So, what is this movie? Well, we have Whipstaff Manor, which is in Maine. Feel like that's a Stephen King throwback, like a callback. It has to be. We don't need to be in Maine all the time, but it's great because this. I mean, the series has a lot of like little digs at other things. We've got the Exorcist joke and the Ghostbusters joke when Kathy Moriarty's Crittenden, what the fuck is her name? Uh, the bitch. She uses the word in the film. They say bitch twice in this, by the way, for a PG rated movie. And she inherits this manor. It's a piece of crap, but she gets pissed off, and then her, I don't know, manservant? What the hell is Eric Idle to her? He just follows her around. They're not dating, they're not anything. Finds like a treasure map for Whipstaff and believes that there's a treasure in the house. So, but they can't go in there because they see ghosts and they have to get the ghosts out. So they hire like a slew of people to go in there. They try destroying it, but even the construction crew runs away. Then eventually, Casper, who's in there, who's the friendly ghost, sees on air that there's a therapist for the dead, played by Bill Pullman, who is a guy that is basically trying to find his wife, who passed away years ago, and he travels around the country with his daughter. By the way, shout out to Hard Copy. I don't know what happened to that show, but they're still in this. They get to live vicariously through being in Casper. And the little Hard Copy piece on it, he flies out, makes sure that Kathy Moriarty's Crittenden sees it, and then comes back and just waits for everything to happen. And eventually, yes, so they get hired, they drive off, and Kat, Christina Ricci's character, is, she just keeps moving around from place to place. And so she asks her dad, if we don't find mom here, can we just please stop moving around? I'd like to just have like a normal childhood. And he agrees. So, and they have this pinky thing, which comes back into play later on. So, they get in, and Casper's there to greet, and eventually reveals himself to Christina Ricci, who freaks the hell out, and just at first she passes out, and then Casper does this cool thing where he like absorbs water and then sprinkles it over her to wake her up. As she runs, and of course the dad is freaked out too, because obviously he's a fraud and has never seen a real ghost before. So they, he hides her in a closet, faces off against Casper, but the real problem are the uncles, and they come in, and they're more to scare than Casper is. So eventually, Cat warms up to Casper, and we learn more about him and his past. And there was a sledding accident. He doesn't remember most of his childhood. And then they find this like cool room, and his dad was an inventor. But eventually, Casper sadly like haunted him into insanity. There's a newspaper clipping of. I'm not saying everything in here makes sense, because it's like, well, if he went insane, then who took the newspaper up to Casper's little room? Like, if he was declared legally insane, then how did that clipping get up there? From who? So I guess his mom had already passed, because it was just him and his dad, and he hung out and stayed there with his dad. His dad was his unfinished business, but they never say that because they don't want Casper to disappear. That Casper doesn't have unfinished business. And then there was his dad was working on this Lazarus machine, which would bring Casper back from the dead, and actually finished it. Like, the thing is done. I don't know why he just didn't use it. Like, everything is there. They don't have to. When Casper and Cat find it, it's fully functional. They bring it out of the water, and there's liquid waiting, so they just have to use the liquid and flip a dial and bring Casper back, which comes in handy later on. But all of this leads to, Kathy Moriarty, who's been seeing this and believes that the treasure. So she tries to kill Eric Idle to try to get him to be the ghost, so that he can fly into the vault and steal the treasure, because they can't get into the vault otherwise. And he evades her, and it ends up being her that dies. She comes back, ends up killing Eric Idle, throws him like out of the house, and she has everything she's ever wanted, and then, oh no, she has no unfinished business, so that's how she dies. Meanwhile, this whole time, Bill Pullman's basically been hanging out with the three other ghosts, and they've developed a bond and a friendship, and they take him drinking, where he decides, I'm going to be, you guys deserve to stay, you're great guys, have a lot of fun. He falls into a manhole and dies, so he comes back as a ghost. So instead of Casper being able to use the thing, I'm spoiling the entire movie, but I could have told you this movie from memory. So they use this stuff and bring the dad back, which is what gets Casper his night at this dance, which Kat has invited. Not really invited. This movie's not very long and it's for kids. They, like, her first day of school and class, within like 5 minutes, they've set up the fact that they're moving the party to Whipstaff Manor. So they have a dance party, which is apparently just her class, by the way, not even her whole grade, unless this town is really that small and everybody is just in the same class. So all the kids are down there partying. Casper comes down the stairs. "Can I keep you?" Which is a line he said earlier. Yeah, it's a nice little cute romantic ending, and then they dance party their way out of the movie at the end, and it's Casper and Kat and Dad and the three uncles, and they're just enjoying Whipstaff together. And I always wondered, why isn't there a Casper too? I feel like they perfectly set it up for that. And we were getting sequels like nonstop in the 90s. There were like multiple Three Ninjas movies, Problem Child movies, Home Alones, Beethoven's. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is there no Casper 2? Anyway, I love this movie. Yes, I can sit here as a 40-year-old adult and look at a couple of things and say, well, that doesn't make sense. That's silly. Like in the chair, I was sitting there with when the blades come up to shave, and I'm like, how does that shave you? How does that just not murder you, like with the razors coming down? Because it's not like the chair stops, and I mean, your face would have to be in the exact right position for that. That's so weird. But and by the way, the ancient toothpaste that she's having squirted on her, and all that stuff. This, yeah. So there were a couple times I was like, who got that newspaper article up there? But and you would think with all this unfinished business stuff that his dad would have had unfinished business because his dad never brought Casper back. So wouldn't he be a ghost? Interesting thoughts. But Amy Brenneman makes a nice little cameo at the end. Loved that. Loved her. Thought she was great. She comes in. She's like, I have no unfinished business. They had 3 crazy ghosts that made good on their promise. So I don't know. I've always adored this movie. It's perfect for Christina Ricci, who spent like the earlier part of her career playing these sort of darker characters. This is not that far from Wednesday Addams. It's just like a happier version of Wednesday, but it still is sort of like I mean, it's a Halloween-y type of franchise that she got thrown into here. So it's right up her alley. Feels like perfect casting for her. Bill Pullman's good as the nerdy dad. And the comedy works. And I adore Casper, and 30 years of it. I think it's sort of stood the test of time. I think people like it enough. So I don't know if it's quite a film classic. We've only gotten the one live action adaptation of Casper. They did do some straight to video sequels. That doesn't really count. I mean, it didn't have Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman. I don't count those as direct sequels. They brought in Wendy, which was another Harvey comic character, and they tried to milk the franchise. But you really have to be able to have the budget to support the visual effects to make the film look as good as it did for 1995. I even remember where I was when I watched this in 1995. That's how much of an impact it made on me. Is for 30 years, I could tell you, like actually, like where I saw this, like what theater, town, all that kind of stuff, who I saw it with, and it stuck with me for 30 years. I was like, 12 when this came out. So, Casper. This is a great part about not being on Tomato Meter, being able to come back through and do these reviews of these older movies that have largely influenced the way I like film. And I know that sounds silly because everybody's like, well, these other films should influence you. What about how about Lawrence of Arabia? How do you feel about that? I don't know. I love Casper though. I could put on Casper any day of the week and just watch it. It's just entertaining. It's fun. It's light. It's easy, and I enjoy it. So I'm gonna give Casper a 9 out of 10. It's a desert island movie for me. It deserves to have a high score because it represents a lot for me. I can acknowledge that there are a couple technical imperfections, a couple things with the script that they reach for that maybe I could have done differently, or we could have extended it or explored some characters a little bit differently. We could have touched up the script a little bit more, but it is also PG, made for kids, adapted from a Harvey Comics. I think it's funny that that their last name is Harvey. It's a nice throwback to the creator. So all's well at Whipstaff. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.